Hi, and welcome to Ask STARBASE. I'm Dory, and in this episode, we are going to look at a question from Mr. Stark of IMS. Mr. Stark would like to know, why haven't we harnessed the nuclear power of a star to fuel other devices? This certainly sounds like an idea for energy supply. If every galaxy contains an average of 100 billion stars, there would be more than a billion trillion to fuel our devices. Our sun alone produces about 384.6 septillion watts a second. That amount of energy alone is a billion times greater than the amount used by the entire world in 2018. Just a fraction of this energy would be enough to meet our needs. So, what does it take to tap into it? While the stars are incredible sources of energy, they aren't exactly easy to access. If we were to try to use the energy from the fusion reaction similarly to how we use other fuels like coal or fission, we would have to get close enough to use that energy to move turbines in a generator. Seeing as the closest stars outside our solar system, Alpha Centauri A and B, are over 4 light years away, it would still take over 19,000 years for our fastest spaceship to reach them. This ship, called the Parker Solar Probe, has traveled at speeds of over 153,000 miles per hour, or 337,600 kilometers per hour, as it continues to take passes closer and closer to the Sun. It was launched in August 2018 and will continue its mission through 2025. If it were to go straight from Earth to the Sun, the probe would still take 18 and a half days to reach its destination, assuming it didn't end up getting destroyed in the process. The Parker Solar Probe was designed to cross most of the 150 million kilometers between here and the Sun during its mission. The probe can withstand temperatures of nearly 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,377 degrees Celsius, but will still be over 6 million kilometers away during its closest pass. This technology can handle higher temperatures than our current spacesuits, which can only protect up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 121 degrees Celsius. As a result, an astronaut can't get any closer than 3 million miles or 6.6 million kilometers. Our current spacecraft could handle up to 4,700 degrees Fahrenheit, but we'd expect to reach that temperature at 1.3 million miles or 2.6 million kilometers away from the Sun. While we could theoretically get closer to the Sun inside a shuttle based on temperatures alone, that isn't the only potential threat to both humans and technology. Cosmic radiation would be fatal by the time a human could get within 75 million miles of the Sun. As it is, astronauts on average get enough ionizing radiation as someone who has taken 150 to 6,000 chest X-rays, depending on the factors like solar events and how long they are exposed. Most of the radiation Earth gets comes from the Sun, with the occasional solar particle event, or SPE, releasing tons of energy. Fortunately, those of us on Earth are protected by our planet's atmosphere and magnetic field. Even so, powerful solar events can still interfere with communications and other technology. Solar conditions in September of 2017 caused losses in communication between the 4th and the 13th. Although it's the closest source of radiation, the Sun actually isn't the most common source in space. Galactic cosmic radiation, or GCR, comes from outside our solar system. Scientists believe GCR comes from dying supernovas, which have become nuclei without electrons moving close to the speed of light. This radiation is able to cause other atoms to ionize and isn't usually stopped by thick spacecraft walls or our skin. Radiation is such a huge factor that NASA has a space radiation analysis group to monitor the levels during missions and help limit astronauts' exposure. While we may not be able to use the Sun's fusion as the fuel to spin a turbine, there are other ways to take advantage of the energy they release through solar panels. This technology has been used from small-scale solar-powered devices like outdoor lights to large-scale solar farms used to provide electricity for communities. While solar panels have become less expensive and more efficient over time, they still have limitations. We can't make use of this technology at night or when the sun is blocked by clouds. As a result, some scientists are looking to develop space-based solar power to allow for greater efficiency. The panels would be able to absorb all wavelengths of the sun's energy 24/7, as they wouldn't be impacted by the time of day, weather, or the atmosphere itself. These plans would call for large, lightweight solar collectors that would send the energy back to Earth. Caltech made a lightweight functional prototype back in 2018. Their design is meant to be modular so that each device could act independently or as part of a group, allowing new pieces to join as they are sent into space. More recently, scientists from the Pentagon launched the Photovoltaic Radio Frequency Antenna Module, or PRAM, in May 2020 to collect light from the sun and change it to electricity. It is only 12 inches by 12 inches and produces about 10 watts of energy, or enough to power a tablet. The thought is that if they scale it up, the system could be capable of sending power anywhere in the world. Power hasn't been sent back to Earth yet through this prototype, but they are hoping to send it to specific locations as microwaves, assuming that the technology continues to develop. Clean, limitless energy sent wherever it is needed with minimal environmental impacts sounds like a dream. A system that can deliver safe, reliable electricity and allow for growth without having to shut down the grid would be wonderful. In order to make this technology a reality, researchers need to address three big problems: the cost of launching things into space, the efficiency of solar panels, and how to wirelessly transmit the energy back to Earth. The upfront costs are still somewhat problematic, but they are coming down. It currently costs about $2,720 per kilogram to launch something into space. That amount would need to be closer to $200 for this to be financially feasible, along with providing panels that are efficient enough to generate 1 kilowatt of energy for every 5 kilograms of weight launched into space. Engineers continue to work to make them lighter, with a more efficient goal of creating solar panels that generate 1 kilowatt per kilogram. If these changes happen, then we could build a space-based solar energy plant for the same cost as a new coal plant. Another issue would be the wireless power transfer. Microwaves transfer energy at more than 90% efficiency, but they would require large areas to receive the signals, up to 4 miles across. A laser instead would eliminate potential problems associated with radio interference and allow for us to use a smaller receiver, but there could still be problems with direct line of sight and health hazards. Another possibility would be to send the energy back as light through mirrors, which would have a combination of the same risks and benefits of the other two. For now, we will have to wait and see how researchers cope with these challenges to better capture energy from our closest star. Thank you for watching this episode of Ask Starbase. If you have a STEM question for us, please email it to us at ask@starbase-ct.com or go to our website, starbase-ct.com, and send it to us through the Google form. Stay safe and be well. Bye.